East to FAMU. FAMU canceling all football events after rapper Real Boston Richey filmed his new song Send a Blitz in the FAMU locker room. In the FAMU locker room, y'all. It was unauthorized by any of the head coaches and administrators at the school. So with that, head coach Willie Simmons canceled all football activities until further notice, so that way it can basically not get them sued by all of the partnerships that they potentially have, and not get Real Boston Richey sued for filming in the locker room. Because you got to think, with him filming in the locker room, FAMU, he's wearing the helmet, he's wearing the apparel, and not only doing that, he is saying explicit lyrics in the song. Anytime that you partner with a school, a brand, Lil Baby just partnered with Fanatics for Merch Man. He didn't curse in his songs. Didn't curse in the song not one time. Real Boston Richey, when you are, number one, making a song in the FAMU locker room or any college that you go to, you feel what I'm saying? You just, if you get authorization from the school, you just can't, don't curse, because basically Willie Simmons is saying that that is affecting their core values, and that is not what FAMU publishes out there to the public, for them to think that, oh, there's just this school that says explicit stuff, or just do this stuff that Real Boston Richey is saying in his songs. Not only with that, the fact that he's in the FAMU locker room wearing the helmets and wearing the apparel, they can get copyright infringement. They could get copyright infringement for that. You got to think business. The kids here are listening to Boston Richey. They listen to him all over the world. They listen to Boston Richey. I can tell you, I listen to Boston Richey. I listen to a couple of his songs. I like Crazy, Everybody, Bullseye 2 with Future, First Time. He has some songs. I get that he's a Florida rapper, so he's trying to basically give back to the kids in Florida by making a song in a FAMU locker room. But you got to think, you could get copyright infringement from these brands that FAMU has partnered with. I'll give you an example. Why you think in movies, these actors, let's say they wear a hat and it has a Polo logo on the hat, they'll blur it out. Or they have something on the shirt, they blur it out. So that way they can't get copyrighted for none of that, because these movies or whatever you're doing, they have partnerships with all of these different brands. FAMU probably has a partnership with brands out there. So you can't just go out and wear the apparel and wear the helmet, because it can just, everybody can get sued. The school can get sued. You can get sued. And another thing, these HBCUs out here, HBCUs are underfunded. Clearly, they're underfunded. Compared to PWIs out here, HBCUs are underfunded. They're funded by the alumni. So with him making the video, the kids that are at the school for potential scholarships, they can get all of that removed, because the school doesn't have enough money to fund these kids that are currently at the school. So you got to think business. You got to think business in these situations. Now, obviously, like I said earlier, he probably wasn't thinking business. He just want to give back to the kids because he's a Florida rapper. So people in Florida probably know him better than everybody in any other state. So with him going to FAMU, he feels as though he's giving back. Maybe the kids probably let him in and was like, hey, this is Real Boston Richey. Come to our school. But you have to get authorization from the head administrator of the school, whoever that is. So with that, FAMU decided to cancel all football activities so that way it can cool down, so that way they can't potentially get sued in the situation. Real Boston Richey doesn't get sued as well, because he could potentially get sued for, like I said, wearing the helmet, wearing the shirt, showing the locker room that says FAMU, FAMU, FAMU. You gotta blur it out. Unless you get authorization from not only FAMU, but everybody that they're partnered with. We're in a day and age to where you can get sued for anything. Anything in this world you can potentially get sued for. Copyright is one of the biggest things that you can get sued for. And you can get sued for millions, probably millions that you don't even have, just for copywriting. So with that, you just gotta be smart and get authorization from the head administrator before you go and do something. You just can't go in and be like, hey, I just want to rap my new song just to a kid. You got to go through head administration for you to get the okay to make your song at the locker room. It could be at the locker room. It could be on the football field. Any song that you have possibly listened to that was at a school or a stadium, they've all got authorizations. If a rapper comes to a high school, they just not just gonna walk into the high school and just rap. No, you have to get authorization ahead of time, so that way you are able to rap your song wherever you are. You just can't just walk nowhere and just rap. You can't walk anywhere and just rap your song. You just can't. It has to get authorized by the head of wherever you go. So Real Boston Richey is lucky that he hasn't got sued, but it could potentially happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. Florida A&M is lucky that they haven't got sued either. This is just a life lesson. This is what needed to happen so that way they know not to do it again. If you do see all of these rappers that have went to schools, they've got authorization. And like I said, HBCUs are so underfunded that we don't have enough money. Us black people don't have enough money to fund these HBCUs. And FAMU is one of the most underfunded. One of the most underfunded HBCU. So with FAMU getting in trouble, like, you got to think, if I'm saying we're as in us black people, if we are getting in trouble and we don't have enough funds to support the HBCU school, we're going to get in trouble. Because how are these kids going to get scholarships, full ride scholarships, whatever? They can't, because they don't have enough money to provide the kid. So you got to think business. Real Boston Richey's song Send a Blitz, it's a good song, but it could have went way, way, way worse business wise. And I know he probably didn't know. He's a young artist out here. He probably didn't know. But this is just a lesson for not only him, not only for FAMU, but any HBCU that decides to do this.